What is going on, travelers? Welcome back to the walkthrough. Unfortunately, I had some issues leaving the mute button on, so we're going to go ahead and give you the rundown of what was supposed to go on for this episode. The first one is purchasing that new multi-tool we saw last episode. If you do happen to see a multi-tool that fits your needs and is about a price that you can afford due to the trading you had just done between the four systems as a loop, then go ahead and purchase that bad boy. Make sure it has enough space in order for you to put upgrades in, because you will be switching upgrades from one multi-tool to the other. We'll go in about that later. So if you have 4 mil and above, go ahead and purchase. Anything from B to S class, go ahead and purchase it, because you're going to be having that multi-tool, or multi-tools, I should say, for the long haul. Now, as I mentioned before, go ahead and switch those upgrades within the multi-tools. Like this one, for example, it had a lot of mining upgrades within it. So I went ahead and took the mining upgrades out of that one and put the bolt caster I had in the previous multi-tool and swapped them. So now the new multi-tool, which is one that's preferred for combat, the alien multi-tools are one of the multi-tools in-game that are specifically made for combat. So you want to put all your weapon items within that multi-tool. And the other multi-tool, which is the experimental multi-tool, which is really great for scanning and really great for mining, I put all my mining upgrades within there. Now at the multi-tool kiosk, you're going to walk right over it. You can see the multi-tool highlighted, and it's the one you're not previously carrying, but are carrying at that moment. Once you go into the kiosk itself, you're going to go ahead and have about 3 options. One of the options is to install a slot, which means you're going to have a multi-tool slot as a little product taking up your inventory slot, and you're going to use that towards your multi-tool to make a slot. The next one is purchasing new slots, and you can purchase new slots for about 90,000 units if you so have the coin on you. The next option is to upgrade the class. Now you can upgrade the classes with the multi-tools you currently have. You don't necessarily have to be on the lookout for an S class unless you want to. So with that specific purchase, I believe it's 50,000, no, not 50,000 nanites. I believe it is a fair amount of nanites you're going to have to get, and it increases the price each time that you go from C class to B class, from B class to A class, from A class to S class. If you do notice you're a little bit short on money, go ahead and try to buy the wiring loom that's needed for the teleport module that's on your ship, as well as the advanced multi-tool, the advanced mining upgrade you need for your multi-tool. You'll need about 5 of them, and more than likely they'll come out to about maybe a 409,000 unit price. So go ahead and do the loop again if you have any more products in the making that can still be purchased and sold to give you units. By the way, this unit method that I went ahead and showed you last episode and this episode, this is only a quick money-making method that soon depletes and soon has you go out and try to find another 4 and do the same thing again. This is just a beginner's way of doing it to get quick money. Other than that, you'll be selling ancient bones, which gets you a ton of money in the first place, so be on the lookout for that. Next up, we have our freighter battle. With the freighter battle, it's pretty simple. You have to have 3 hours of gameplay and 5 warp jumps. After the 3 hours, make sure you jump 5 times. If you've been following the walkthrough, at this specific time, this will be your next jump. This is your 4th jump towards this system. The next system, on the other hand, will be your 5th jump. Once you make that jump, be sure to have a restore save. You have a restore save if you jump into your ship while you're in the space station or on a planet, whichever, and you jump out of your ship and you make your restore point. Once you've done that, jump back in and set off into the next system that you're about to jump in. Once you're in that other system, the freighter battle will immediately start. You'll notice a bunch of pirates are flying around you. They'll have this little pink trail behind them. You're going to want to shoot them down. The way you're going to shoot them down is using your photon cannon as well as your rockets. Now, this is just all beginner stuff that you have with you at the time. Remember, we're still low on nanites and still a little bit low on money to buy upgrades. So the current build you have is sufficient enough for you to take on this pirate battle. So go ahead and shoot them down using Starship Combat Auto Follow. Starship Combat Auto Follow is using the right click on your mouse if you're using mouse and keyboard. And you're going to be able to kind of auto aim where the ships are. You can shoot the shielding down using the photon cannon and using the rockets for that one hit wonder shot that you're looking for. It's going to make them explode on impact. Once you're done killing all the pirates, the captain is going to want you to come aboard as they want to speak to you. Come aboard the freighter, but here's two options. The first option is to look at the ground and scan it. As you're scanning the ground, it's going to show you the specific class of the ship. Now, if you're looking for an S-class freighter, your first try, because this freighter is for free, then you're going to want to be doing this a few times. This is the reason why I had you do that restore point earlier, so you can go to options, scroll down the restore point, click restore point, and it will take you back to that station or planet that you saved on, and you're able to go back and do the whole battle over again, see if you ended up with an S-class freighter. Option number 2 is to go ahead and take the freighter as is. There is a much better looking freighter out there than the current ones that you're boarding that are called pirate freighters. The pirate freighters are something we're going to discuss later on down the line, but they look a lot bigger than what we currently have. Trust me, it's worth the wait. So with this option, the current class doesn't matter. Just go ahead and take it, as it probably won't go as far as your current ship is going, so I wouldn't really worry about the class unless you really only want that freighter. Now, going around the freighter, now that you've captured it, and it's all yours now, you're going to see 4 computer terminals at the one specific central hub. The first one is going to be your upgrade terminal, in which you can upgrade the ship using the specific hyperdrive modules that are going to allow you to go further with the ship, as well as travel to cadmium, emerald, and indium systems. And later on, I think you automatically get the module that'll allow you to go to purple systems once you reach that part of the storyline. Or I'm sorry, not storyline, but side quest. Now, if you go to the left where the navigator is that is where you can get your frigates to go on missions for you. These missions will last a certain amount of time. Some of them are like 53 minutes. Other ones are maybe an hour and a half, depending on what you're doing or how the mission's timed. You can lessen the time by using consumables. This is also what's in the upgrade terminal we previously looked at, where you would go to the left and you would see consumables that are for time, that are for defense, etc. And if you go back to the upgrade terminal, you look at the top, and that is your frigate your freighter fuel. You're going to use that fuel in tons. For your frigates. I keep getting this mixed up. It's for your frigates, not for your freighter. So that can be used towards how many frigates you put on a mission, and however much there is will show you a total amount of fuel that's needed in order for all those to deploy out. Be sure to have enough of that once you start making it. Now, if we're back to the upgrade terminal, go ahead and go to the right. Once you go to the right of it, it'll show you paint colors. You're able to paint your freighter different colors as long as you're able to unlock it. The total amount of unlocking all paints within the freighter is about 50,000 units. 50,000 nanites. Make sure you collect that 50,000 nanites later on in the game, so that way you're able to purchase all the paints you need, or just purchase the favorite one, so that way it's at a lower price. If we go to the right again, you're going to be able to see all the building pieces that we can make in our little mobile base. You'll be able to purchase all these with salvage frigate modules. And if we make our way to the right of the hub, we're going to see the warp map. Instead of having to go to the ship and press X like we usually do, you're going to end up touching the computer by pressing the input button, and you're going to see yourself at the galaxy map. But instead of your ship only going from one spot to the other, the whole frigate with all your ships in it is going to be able to transport you from one spot to the other depending on the distance. And we go to the right again on the hub and see our last computer, which is the managed fleet terminal. You're able to manage a fleet, which is your frigates. You're able to see their class, what their buffs are, and what some of their downsides are. If they're a little less in class, like C class, you might see some red spots there, but B class, A class, S class, you may see less and less, if none, depending on how you got it. And if you want to know where to build your mobile base, if you look behind the navigator, if you're facing away from the captain, you'll be able to walk into this bridge area where it already has a pre-made area for your fleet manager. Your fleet manager is that computer that monitors the frigates when they go out on missions. And then you'll go to the left and you'll see a weapons master terminal there ready and waiting. as well as some decoration that's over to your left as well in that hallway. You'll be able to take out all of that stuff and build whatever you want, however you want. I've seen some amazing builds with freighters in their mobile base, and it's pretty awesome. And one last thing for the freighter, this freighter is going to be able to house all the ships you collect in game. You're able to house these by going to the Manage Fleet and then Manage Ships. I believe it's the last option there that you're going to pick, and it's going to allow you to archive ships. You can archive as many ships as you need to while still having I think it's either 9 or 12. Let me know down in the comments if I'm right or wrong about that. Go ahead and house them. Once they're housed, then you can pick them up anytime. It still keeps the loadout. This is also the same thing for multi-tools, but if you had seen what the weapons terminal was earlier, you'll notice that there's little multi-tools on the wall. Those are multi-tool racks. And those multi-tool racks, you can archive your multi-tools there. So the collecting never stops. Next up, you'll be visiting the Atlas. This is a very quick visit, as you'll be visiting one Atlas interface. You'll go in there, see what it's kind of like. You'll be collecting one word from the Atlas, as well as collecting 2 of the spheres that are in front of the Atlas before you approach it. Collect those, as those will give you 2 warp cells. Once you approach the Atlas and talk to it, it'll provide you with a seed. Hold on to this, but don't do any more than that. Jump back out and head over to another planet where you can find a hollow Terminus. I believe Artemis will get in touch with you. You can talk to him before going to the Terminus. Go to the destination that shows where the Terminus is at. Once you're there, Artemis is going to talk to you about making a signal booster. He's going to give you a signal booster blueprint for free. Go ahead and build this by having 1 metal plating, one carbon nanotube, as well as 15 sodium. Begin triangulating the locations that the marker wants you to go to. The first one will be there at the Terminus. The next one will be over to a second location that leads you to a drop pod. That drop pod is going to have an available inventory slot for you to either put into your tech area or your inventory area. But in order for you to do that, you're going to need 1 antimatter housing, 10 sodium nitrate, and 1 carbon nanotube. Then that slot will be available for you to choose where you want it to go. Go ahead and proceed over to the third spot, and now you're done. Go over to a hollow Terminus to talk to Artemis. Artemis will then provide you with a translator. Go ahead and install that translator by providing 1 microprocessor and 100 copper. In the next episode, we're going to go ahead and talk about the translator, as I have had many questions on how to do this. Be sure to stick around, and I'll see you guys within the next walkthrough. Go beyond, traveler.